Washington, this is VOA News. U.S. expands airstrikes to help Kurds retake dam from Iraqi militants. Gaza ceasefire talks resume in Cairo. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting from Washington. The White House says President Obama is expanding U.S. airstrikes in northern Iraq to help the Kurds retake Mosul Dam from Islamic State fighters. Officials say the move is consistent with Mr. Obama's obligation to protect American citizens and interest in Iraq. They say failure of the Mosul Dam could threaten U.S. diplomatic personnel and facilities in Mosul. Reports say Kurdish fighters have retaken at least part of the strategically important dam from the militants with the help of U.S. airstrikes. The Pentagon says it's carried out 23 air raids since Saturday on armed Islamic State vehicles and a checkpoint. The dam on the Tigris River provides electricity and irrigation for much of northern Iraq. A new round of negotiations is underway in Cairo aimed at ending the month-long conflict between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas in the Gaza. Robert Berger reports.
Israeli and Palestinian delegations are holding a new round of talks trying to extend the current 5-day truce in Gaza into a long-term ceasefire. But the gaps are wide. At the weekly cabinet meeting in Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu urged his negotiating team to remain steadfast on Israel's security needs. If Hamas thinks it can compensate for its military defeat with diplomatic gains, it is mistaken, Mr. Netanyahu said. Palestinian official Ahmed Majdalani, I am not optimistic, Majdalani told the Voice of Palestine radio, and he blamed Israel for rejecting Hamas's demand to end the 7-year blockade on Gaza. Robert Berger for VOA News, Jerusalem.
Ukraine says its forces captured a district police station in Luhansk after a fierce battle with pro-Russian separatists on Sunday. The eastern Ukrainian city has been the scene of some of the heaviest fighting in recent weeks between the separatists and Ukrainian troops. Earlier Sunday, the rebels shot down a Ukrainian military jet flying near the area. There is no word about casualties. More than 1,100 people have died from the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Liberia is suffering more than any other country. At least 413 people have died from the virus. An Ebola isolation unit in the capital Monrovia came under attack Saturday, just hours after President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf spent the day with education teams in some of the affected communities there. VOA's Ann Look has details.
President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf says they can beat Ebola.
Stay in your area. Don't move to another place. Wait till you get treatment. If everybody were to follow that one, then we can start to bring this thing down.
The president accompanied awareness teams to two of the hardest-hit communities around the capital.
And we the neighbors, they came out to say that it was Ebola.
Hundreds of people showed up to listen. This is West Africa's first Ebola outbreak. People are still learning what it is. In Liberia, families continue to hide their sick at home. Health workers and facilities have come under attack. President Sirleaf told reporters that some people are still refusing to believe Ebola is real. Ann Look, VOA News, Dakar.
The Reverend Al Sharpton, an American black civil rights leader, has called the shooting death of an unarmed black teenager by a white police officer a defining moment for the United States. Sharpton spoke Sunday at a rally in the central U.S. town of Ferguson, Missouri, where violent protests and looting have followed the August 9th death of 18-year-old Michael Brown. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder on Sunday said a federal medical examiner would perform another autopsy on Brown in accordance with the wishes of the Brown family and because of the extremely sensitive nature of the case. Missouri Governor Jay Nixon says authorities would continue to impose a curfew indefinitely, as there have been almost nightly confrontations between police and protesters. A major opposition leader in Pakistan's parliament called on anti-government protesters to stop paying taxes, electricity, and gas bills until Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif resigns. Imran Khan vowed Sunday at a rally in Islamabad that he and the popular cleric Tahir ul-Qadri will force Mr. Sharif to step down this week. They contend that last year's election that brought Mr. Sharif's political party to power was rigged. I'm Ray Kouguell in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.